What's up, guys? Happy to see you all. Feel free to turn on your camera if you like, but you don't have to for sure. Let me get the chat window up so I can see all your comments and questions. It's always cool to see each other and say hello. And Claire is traveling, so she's doing us your box till July 7th and is here just out of self-flagellation. So Claire, I appreciate your dedication to hanging out with a large group of really cool people who are getting to see their box and see what's going on. And Lloyd's working on the dinging for all of you. All right, you ready to see what's in there, to see the unboxing? All right, here we go, guys. We're going to do it. So are you ready? Let me open up my doc that has all the cool stuff for you. I had it open and then I closed it. Better. Yay, it's gone. All right. First thing, this thing is actually way cooler than I imagined when I first heard about it. And it is called the Cryosphere. See the auto-focusing on the camera? How cool is that? All right. So what the heck is a cryosphere? You open it up and it is a relatively heavy metal ball that looks super psychedelic, like one of those MC Escher things. But what you do is you stick it in the freezer and it stays ice cold for 6 hours. What you do with it is you freeze it, and you've seen like cryo freeze. I've had cryo CBD kind of stuff on before. And the reason cold is interesting is when nerves get access to cold, they shrink and they're less inflamed. This is why we put ice on stuff. So this is a way of icing things. So you can do any kind of rolling you would do, localized cryotherapy. But the real reason I like this is it's TSA safe. So you can freeze it and you take it with you, and then the butter that's in your soap dish or all the other stuff you carry that you didn't want to melt, like chocolate or whatever, it freezes everything without any liquid. So now you can like travel and you can have cold stuff. So literally you drop it in your ice chest and it's like an ice cube. So I think it's cool biologically, but also just in life. Now I have something that I can use forever that's going to work. So it's cool. I haven't taken it on an airplane yet, but they should let us do it because, well, it's a cryosphere made out of metal. I don't know what they'll think it is when I take it, but I have not TSA approved it, but I'm pretty sure it's all good. So ice and massage cryosphere, you'll see the effect. And I'm putting it in a box for you now because why not? Check it out. I already have the sticker on the box for you because it's a boxing video, not really an unboxing video. All right. And by the way, there's a 20% off store-wide. They make compression sleeves for arms and legs and stuff like that as well. And so, of course, anytime there's something in here, I'm like, guys, you're going to get to save a lot if you like what the company makes. It's a way for you to discover and save money, which is cool. Next up, you know that I like ozone therapy, right? Have you guys seen my Instagram video that's hashtagged reverse fart? Yes, that's an embarrassing hashtag. And that stupid ding is coming on. Yeah, Dawn's like, yeah, it's TSA approved until I get a body cavity search. Funny you should say that, Dawn, because that goes right up next with ozone therapy. The way you do ozone therapy at home is you have a little ozone generator and you stick a little tiny straw up, the place where things normally come out. Any of the places where things come out work pretty much except for the nostrils. So that's an issue. What would you do? You would, well, if you're really sick, you would do that. But if there's a way to get the body to have the biological effect of ozone, or at least most of it, without having to do that, you might want to do it. I had the inventor of Resistor on the show a while ago, Ian Mitchell, and he's been a friend for a long time. And this is made from encapsulated ozone oil or ozonated oil, so it ends up very low in the gut. And what it does, and I apologize for the binging, I don't know what to do about that. But what it does is it opens low in the gut and it releases something called ozonides, which is one of the biological pathways that ozone itself does. When the mitochondria see ozonides, what they do is they say, oh, great, I need to be better at making glutathione and SOD and all of my antioxidant pathways. So it's basically weightlifting for the antioxidant built-in capacity of your mitochondria. It's a really big deal. And if you have any GI issues, take this stuff. You will see a noticeable difference, just generalized inflammation. I'm definitely a fan. So I got you guys a bottle of Resistor. Chelsea says, love Resistor, or Chelsea, depending on how you say it. Bought immediately after the podcast, amazing breakthrough. And you may see that it says sunflower oil. And you'd say, but Dave, you would never give me sunflower oil, except sunflower oil is awesome because it is one of the least stable oils. So you can get it stable. You need a tiny amount of omega-6 fats, but they're ideal for loading ozone molecules onto because they're so unstable. So polyunsaturated fat has, poly means many, right? So it has many sites to put ozone molecules on, which is why if you sniff it, it smells like ozone, which is what you wanted. So it's really cool. It works really well. Anyway, you got your resistor. It is a really, really solid product, about $35. And if you've never experienced ozone therapy, it's really powerful. The place I feel it the most is actually in the brain. So you feel warm after you take this. It is doing heavy duty biological stuff. And I want ozone therapy to be like, oh, I'm starting to get sick. I'm going to do ozone therapy, and to just have that everywhere for everyone. This is a frontline, first line way to do it. So I'm a big fan of doing it that way. And I think you're going to really like this product. Next up, it's getting to be summer, right? How many of you have used sunscreen? If you can raise your hand if you're on video. Got it. See, most of us, right? How many of you saw the recent thing that most brands are contaminated with a carcinogen? And how many of you saw the thing that almost all sunscreen enters blood circulation within 10 minutes? Yep, there's that. That whole combination reminds me of a movie called Idiocracy. You guys remember that movie? It's one of my favorite movies, where the world's dumbest guy from now or from the 80s becomes the world's smartest guy in the future. One of the fake ads they have on there is an ad for sunscreen that may cause skin cancer. I'm like, oh my God, they predicted the future. So that said, I would probably rather use a commercial sunscreen than get a really heavy sunburn, because that's really bad for you too. So what do? Well, I thought there might be an answer for you. Third Rock Sunblock. Sending you some of this stuff. I vet the ingredients really, really carefully. They give you a discount and they tell you about their story. So there's some paperwork for you in here. But this is good stuff that is entirely mineral based, which is what you want to do. And I actually like zinc a little bit more than titanium. And there's questions about particle size. These guys have done really, really good science for you. It's 100% food grade edible ingredients. You've probably heard me say, if you wouldn't put it in your mouth, don't put it on your skin. They do that. Zero endocrine disruptors, no immune system depleting additives. It's basically vegetable glycerin instead of water. So it sticks around for a long time. It doesn't evaporate. Zinc oxide that's chelated instead of nanoized. The nanoized particles probably enter cells in ways we don't want, but we're not quite sure. And it protects UVA and UVB. So what should you do? Go out in the morning without sunscreen. Get a little bit of UVA in your eyes, UVB. It's good for you. And then if you're going to get heavy duty sun exposure and you don't want wrinkles and sunburn, you can put some of this on. But this is the kind of quality that I would be looking for in a sunblock. And I think you guys could use it. It's really hard to find good sunblock. So it's one of the things that I pay a lot of attention to. So I'm adding that into your box for you, which is getting heavy. Next up, if you are a longtime listener, you've probably heard my friend Andy Nilo from Alitura on the show. You guys remember Andy? I see some people nodding. So Andy is a cover model for Oakley and a pro baseball player. And he got in a hit and run accident that peeled off half his face and broke his jaw. And he's like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to go all bulletproof in the very early days of Bulletproof. And he did. And he used that in combination with a face mask that he researched. And he launched the face mask on the show. And he's still going strong 7 years later. I've been an advisor and mentor for his business. And what I've been using for the last 6 years is on my face is Alitura Gold Serum. You've seen me write about copper tripeptides before. Well, what a tripeptide is, it's really amazing. Tri means threes. And a peptide is amino acids strung together. So you have dipeptides, which is 2 amino acids, and tripeptides, which is 3. And copper tripeptide is a copper with 3 peptides. You actually get some non-copper, but just regular di and tripeptides in the collagen protein that I make. But when you put copper tripeptide, also known as GHK from Superhuman, on your skin, it does magic stuff. And it's in here along with a ton of other things. And just he's completely obsessive compulsive about ingredient quality and organicness. And if it wasn't picked by monks, he's mad. And if the monks were all right-handed, he's mad. So he's, at least as extreme as I am on that kind of stuff. So I got you guys enough to last for several weeks of the Gold Serum. And I just got to say, it is not the cheapest stuff you can put on your face, but it is the very best stuff. And like I said, every single morning for many years now, this is the stuff that I actually use. And there, it looks like one of our people who Doc Marriott, I see it, or no, Marfion, Doc Marfion. There you are. I see you waving. Says it helps the body produce stem cells. Yep. In fact, you can use GHK intravenously. You guys have seen the thing where, like, some of you I know have a college student shackled under your bed to get their blood plasma for the young plasma exchange, right? Carol's smiling. Yeah, I know you, Carol. You did that. And what happens is, even if you don't have a college student chained up, there was a company doing plasma exchange that had no science studies supporting it for youth. And they called it, a vampire thing, which it wasn't really. But they do know if you take young plasma and replace old plasma with young plasma in humans, that old humans get younger and feel younger, and it works in animals too. One of the reasons is gunk and crap in the old plasma, but the other reason is high levels of GHK copper tripeptide in the young plasma. So there's a lot of cool science around copper tripeptide as a peptide for all sorts of uses, but topically, I think there's huge evidence for it, and it uses high levels and good quality and a bunch of other stuff. So I use it. I love it. And I wanted you guys to have access to that, especially if you get a sunburn. Try putting that on the sunburn. It is ridiculous how the skin can heal from that kind of stuff. So I love Deborah's answer there in the chat window under the incline bed. Let's see. Next up. Oh, and you get 20% off store-wide at Alitura. So if you've never tried the mask, you should try that, or all of his stuff is good. Next up, you've heard me talk about raw honey. You've heard me talk about other beet products. Propolis has a huge amount of science going back thousands of years, and certainly studies in the last 30 years for healing wounds and healing GI issues and even allergies. So I got you guys some of the B.Soothed honey lozenges. You can only have one a day at dinner if you're in keto because, well, honey is not a fat. It is actually a carb. I'm pretty sure you guys know that. I'm reminded of, is butter a carb? One of my favorite lines ever from Legally Blonde. And what you'll find, though, is that this has zinc and D3, and it's about a gram of honey, so not too much. So there's no maltodextrin and corn syrup and crap like that. Third-party tested for pesticides, which is an issue in propolis, and heavy metals. And I like this because anytime, if you're flying, you're traveling, just your voice is tired, this is a small amount of sugar, but it also can help you with sleep before bed. So if you're one of the people who needs a little bit of a boost, honey is a good way to do that. And this is I would say it's a balanced way to do it. I also believe in these guys because they do a ton of work around sustainable beekeeping and heavy metal for us and for the bees. There's 400 species of bees where I live. We plant pollinators all around the property, especially near the garden. And there's crazy amounts of ground bees and bumblebees. The EPA doesn't test pesticides on anything except honeybees from Europe, which never touch the ground. All the bumblebees that you used to see when you were young, they live in the ground. They don't have hives, and they're all getting killed just all over the place by pesticides. These guys are fighting the good fight, and it's raw honey. So this company, BeeKeepers Naturals, I think they're doing good work in the world, and I think this is a good product. I thought you guys would enjoy it. My kids certainly want to eat all of them. Okay, the next thing I'm actually really stoked on. Here it is. It's a mesh bag. You don't know what's in there? I don't see any excitement. All right. Doc Marion's like, yay. Let me open it up. I got you guys avoFresh. What it is, it's an avocado-based. Okay, not really. What it is these cool things. There's a fruit and vegetable wipe to clean off your stuff. But that's cool to get all the pesticides off the things you eat, but it's avoFresh itself that's cool. It is a powder that you can either pour on a sliced avocado or, more importantly, put in your guacamole, and it won't turn brown. So then you can make your guac and it'll be good the next day and the next day. And so it's a plant-based anti-browning powder, and it's got calcium carbonate, which you guys know I like. That's even anti-kale, and it's got some vitamin C in it. So it'll last for probably, they say oxidation for 7 days. I wouldn't want to eat 5-day-old guac because it's going to start fermenting, but I could eat 2 or 3 day old guac with this stuff that you couldn't eat if you just made guac the next day, it already goes bad. And what they do is they say, use the mesh bag to wash or store things like avocados. If you put avocados and especially other stuff together, but even avocados by themselves in a paper or plastic bag, it keeps the gases there that makes them ripen much more quickly. Since it is avocado time and the Bulletproof diet definitely has some avocado centricity to it, having avocados that are allowed to off gas and circulate in air instead of hold the exhaust gases and nitrogen around them, it changes the ripening rate. But it's super cool. You tear one of these open, you're making guac, and you have guac for several days. So massive improvement in sustainability of your avocado habit, which is super cool. Yeah, lemon juice doesn't work. If you want to, you could squeeze a lemon on top of your guac, and it'll kind of sort of work, but you still get some bubbles. But when you mix this stuff in, it's completely green the next morning. It totally works. And of course, they give you a discount code. So it's a summertime, it's avocado time, and I like avoFresh. It's actually really cool. And as you'd expect, they're going to give you a 20% off discount. And the wipes that come to get pesticides off things, those are mostly good for travel. You can just use soap and water at home, to be perfectly honest. But what I liked about those, the only reason I'd send them to you is they're biodegradable. Most of the wipes you get, like the Dude wipes or the Freshness wipes, they're just like, they don't decompose. They just go into the ocean after they finish clogging up the sewers and making these giant sewer monsters, which is just not particularly cool. And worst of all is sometimes the sewer monsters get so big they can run for office. And that's just not okay. All right, we need to stop that problem. Notice that was a nonpartisan comment in case any of you are in one party or another. It doesn't really matter. Next up, Deborah read my mind. Do you have a spy camera in here, Deborah? She's like, next up, pair that with a LMNT margaritas. Well played, Deborah. Well played. So what I got for you guys is the full pack of LMNT with a bunch of different flavors. I like this stuff. I use it before I get in my sauna. And electrons, but electrolytes, which you need in order to carry electrons around, actually are important for nerve firing and bone production and everything else. So what I got you guys was the full set of all the different flavors, because there's a bunch of them. And all you do is you pour it in water. It tastes good, kind of like Gatorade, a little bit salty. But I want you to see what happens with your brain when you have these things. You can just use sea salt and water, but then you're missing the magnesium, the potassium, and stuff like that. So this is a nice set. Like, see which ones you like. And if you want, you can do lots of different ways of electrolytes, but I think the LMNT stuff is convenient, and I think it actually tastes really good, and they use clean, natural flavors. So wanted you guys to have that for summer. You don't have to be sweaty and all full of exercise and stuff like that. And if that wasn't enough, if you're traveling, you might actually be thinking about this weird thing called, if you get really cold, you might get a cold. You could get some other stuff that's gone around as well. Yeah, Mary says watermelon's delicious. That's their top flavor, I think. I got you guys the full-on Bulletproof zinc and copper, which is worth taking. Most people today take way too much zinc and not enough copper, and it creates an imbalance. And this is one that's designed to not create the imbalance. I've actually done this. One of the reasons I have a little bit of gray on the sides of my hair, which I think I'm succeeding in making better. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think it's getting better. I'll tell you, when I have a full head of brown hair, I'm going to disclose all of my secrets if I even know which ones worked. But what you'll find there is I was taking a lot of zinc carnosine, which helps with leaky gut. So I was building a good boundary there. But that plus so many companies just put zinc all willy-nilly because they heard it's good for you, but there's no balance in copper. And this is copper orotate, which is a form of copper that is unusual and goes into the Krebs cycle easily. So I formulated this myself, and I thought you guys would appreciate that. Doc Marion says uses the zinc and copper daily. So if you're not already on this stuff, you should totally use it. Okay, I'm going to answer a question for you. Jose says, I think it's Jose or Jace, says, derma rolling the scalp with topical solution of copper. You can, in fact, you can use GHK and derma roll it, which is also a copper peptide, tying that copper together in the box. But that's something that you wouldn't do with these capsules, but it's something that you can do. So derma rolling can work on the scalp for sure. And of course, you get the booklet, but there's something else I included in here. And I'm glad that you're attending the call so I can explain why the heck they're in here. It's stickers, just dumb little stickers that I had made. And this is what they say. Yes, they say fear porn. Let me tell you what that's about. When your brain sees fear, you stop thinking. When your brain sees porn, you stop thinking. Now, when you see a headline like a recent one, right now there are a lot of people dying in India from the coronavirus. This is a real thing, okay? And I'm not downplaying that in the slightest. However, the headline in the Washington Post said, India shatters records for number of deaths per day. 4,500. The top deaths per day was 4,400 in the US. It's the end of the world. Now, last I checked, India had about 4 times the population of the US. So their death rate was nowhere near the US death rate, right? Why is the headline written like that? To grab you in, to make you stop thinking, to make you afraid. And that they know this. They are taught this, and their algorithms know this. And you and me, we're smart people, but we are still susceptible to being sucked in on that because fear gets in at the mitochondrial level before you can think. And then it diverts that inbound information away from your prefrontal cortex straight to the amygdala, and it creates attraction and interest. Guess what does it even more? Porn. So the reason that fear porn stickers are A, both funny, and B, an epic biohack is when you see something like the sign you walk past every day going in, everyone's going to die unless you, something that everyone isn't going to die. It's not true. It might be safer. It might be less safer. But even if you don't wear your seatbelt when you drive to the grocery store, you're probably safe. You're just slightly less safe. So this is about bringing your biology before you think out of fear mode. Because here's what the body does. It goes, fear goes, fear, oh, porn. And then it goes, boing, boing, boing. What do I do? What do I do? And then you start laughing. And it's the laughter that takes you out of both porn mode and fear mode and go, oh my God, these guys really are trying to get into my head. Okay. And it's my sincere hope that if you stick these on signs that are in your face where it's okay for you to stick them, that they will be a subtle reminder to you and maybe others that, you know what, we can come out of these modes of basic primal non-thinkingness and make decisions for ourselves, including a decision, just to be perfectly clear, to get vaccinated or not get vaccinated. It's all good. You're probably not going to die, right? There are concerns on both sides. And I'm not going to get into that with too much detail for you, but this is just turn off the fear mode with the porn mode, and then the body's like, duh. And then you just go into being yourself again. That's what these are for. So I'm not a huge fan of porn as it's not really good for the brain, but I'm also not a huge fan of fear. So let's use them to cancel each other out. What do you think? And if you don't like them, give them to a teenager. They'll stick them on whatever. There you go. Jay says going to need those stickers a lot of the place. All right. So that was my little invention. I'm not counting those as the value of the box, but I hope that they at least bring you a laugh somewhere. And if you actually take a photo of it, say, I saw this in the wild, hashtag fear porn. And you don't have to tag me. This is not about me. You like them, make your own stickers. I don't care. Make t-shirts, whatever. I hope lots of people realize if we just point out absurdity with this, I see your absurdity and I raise it to absurdities. There you go. You've got one. Shall we? That is the box for you. So I can actually tape it up. I can almost fit everything in here. And I will answer some questions for you guys if you would like that. You got any questions? All you've got to do is raise your hand on Zoom and then I'll let you in. I think I can. What? Oh, the golden ticket. Where's my golden ticket? Do you guys want a golden ticket? You think I should do that? All right, let's do some golden ticket. What do you think? Yeah? All right, golden ticket time it is, but I'm going to tape this up first. Sorry, that's so loud. There, I actually taped it for real. I'm sending this box to you. Okay, I'm actually opening it and using all the contents, but I'm sending a new box to you. Before I take Chelsea's question, let's talk about our golden tickets. 3 different people in this box are getting a general admission pass to the 7th annual Biohacking Conference. And these are expensive, nice, amazing tickets. They're actually not that expensive for what it is. But I am getting a code for you guys. So this is a community. And we have the Upgrade Collective with thousands of people learning new stuff. And we do our calls 4 times a year with the box. But the kind of people who are on this call and are having fun, we also, when we get together, it's just even more fun. And you get to see a lot of the vendors in the box, a lot of vendors you've never heard of before, like early stage biohacking. You get to play with all the stuff. And we're doing it in Florida, in Orlando, because California has been changing the conference rules. I've had the conference on hold for 2 years, and it's been really financially rough and just emotionally rough. I don't like, saying I'm going to show up and then being told by the government I can't show up, even though the people want me to be there and I'm okay to be there, but it's not allowed. So California is having economic problems right now and regulatory and government problems, but Florida seems to be a good, safe place to have a conference. So I'd love to see you guys there. And there's a code in the box. And do we have a code they can use online right now? Lloyd, if you have it, you can do that. Jay says VIP and backstage pass. Here's the deal, though. The first 10 people who book using this code are going to get a free limited box. The limited box is $200. The last one was worth more than $600. This is the conference box. So that's all the cool stuff. So if you are thinking about going, you can save 30% and be one of the first 10 to get the limited box, which is another couple $100. So this would be awesome for you to do it. Lloyd's putting in there, I think. So anyway, the code's definitely in the box, but I don't want to say, if you get the box early, you get it. So just reach out. I think Lloyd's going to post that for you. Anyway, I would love to see you guys there. It's biohackingconference.com. And if you can't make it there, that's all good. But 3 people won a golden ticket worth $2,500 before all the discounts and all. Let's get into Q&A, shall we? Part of what you get when you subscribe.